Hello guys and welcome to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee and this movie review is the Stanford Prison Experiment, and it is directed by Kyle Patrick Alvarez, and it stars, I had to pull this up because this is a ton of people: Billy Crudup, Michael Anagrano, Keir Gilchrist, Thomas Mann, Ezra Miller, Ty Sheridan, Logan Miller, Johnny Simmons. It's basically Olivia Thirlby. It's basically every actor or actress that was in an independent film in the past 5 years. They basically just grabbed all of them and they put them in the same movie. So there's a lot of people in this. And basically this movie is about the prison experiment that was held at Stanford University back in 1971. And it was a 6-day run where this psychology professor took 24 males, and he made half of them guards and half of them prisoners, and just kind of observed their behavior in the roles that they were given, basically. And it's just a really fascinating movie, and it's a fascinating subject, and it's been made 2 times before this. So this is the third reincarnation. The first one being Das Experiment in 2001. That was a German film, and then the 2010 film done by us in the States is The Experiment, starring Adrian Brody and Forrest Whitaker, which I thought was okay. So this movie review is live, so if you are watching live, you can troll me, you can ask me questions, you can do whatever you want, I will respond. So let's get into this. Let's break it down, guys. And also, I've been doing out of 10s for my scores on movie reviews. I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to do letter grades, so let me know what you think about that. So let's get this started. So like I said, it's based on the 1971 Stanford experiment where the psychology professor does hold this little scenario in one of the school buildings, and he just observes, and it just really breaks these kids down. It breaks the creator down. It's just a really mentally draining movie, and it really is fascinating to be like, if you were in that position, what would you go for? Would you want to be a guard, or would you want to be a prisoner? And when you tell yourself, I would want to be a prisoner, I don't think I could toughen up and be a guard. And it's like, well, you don't really know until you're thrown in there. So it's questions like that get your brain rattled. So let's break this down. Directing. I think Kyle Patrick Alvarez really created a really just intense, suspenseful, kind of slow movie. It's a slow burn, the way I would compare it. And we basically just see scenario after scenario after scenario, day after day after day, and having these kids' mental just structure deteriorate right in front of us. And ours is kind of deteriorating as well, because I was getting so into the movie that I completely forgot it was an experiment. I thought I was watching like a juvenile prison for some weird reason. So he does take you into that world, and he does submerge you into this really unique experiment that just kind of tests human cruelty, just human behavior, the justice system, power and authority. There's a lot of things at play here, and I think he does a really good job. I've only seen this movie of his. He's done like 2 other movies, so yeah, he's fairly new. So I actually kind of dug.
Important security message.
What the hell? Woo! That's what you get when you have pop-ups on your computer, kids. So yeah, I think he does a really good job here. This is probably my favorite one out of the 2, because I have not seen Das Experiment. I've seen The Experiment, and this is my favorite one out of the 2 so far, but this is the 3rd reincarnation. So if you're going to do another movie based on this test, then please make it unique. As far as the cons go for directing, I kind of wish there was more with Billy Crudup's character, Dr. Philip Zimbardo. He's the guy. He's the professor that initiated this experiment, and he's the one that kept it going when things would go wrong or kind of out of place. When they placed rules before the experiment, he'd be the front line and be like, okay, we need to pull this, or we just need to keep going. He was really fascinating because I really wanted to know more to him, actually. I think that was one of the cons about this movie is I like the kids and I like what they did, but I really wanted to know more about Zimbardo's character. That's what I really wanted. I wanted more depth. I wanted just more of him and just why and just what his thoughts were afterwards, like what were the test results like. Because that's the thing, when this movie ends, it kind of shows the kids in a brief kind of interview stance on like what they experienced throughout the study, and that part was fascinating. That only lasted like 2 minutes. I kind of wanted more of that too. So that would be another con for the directing. It's kind of like with Frankenstein. I'm more fascinated by what's his name? First name Victor Frankenstein. I'm more interested on the creator than the creation. Frankenstein's monster is cool and all, but I'm more interested in the creator. So that'd be my analogy for that. So I kind of just wanted more on Zimbardo and a little bit more aftermath after the study. We got enough of the study for sure because the movie's like 2 hours, but just wanted a little bit more afterwards. I would have sat through it. I know a lot of people might find this movie slow and repetitive because it is like the same abusive stuff over and over and over again. I didn't mind it. I was just fascinated with it. So those would be my cons with the directing. As far as the acting goes, everyone does a fantastic job. I don't have any complaints on anyone. Like there is, it's just a great ensemble cast, and they're immersed in their roles. They get lost in them. I completely forgot that like Ezra Miller and Ty Sheridan were in this. Like, I was just so fascinated with their performances. I just forgot I was watching actors. I thought I was watching the actual experiment. It was just really great. Everyone was really committed to their roles. It seemed like everyone was just really into it, and it was just one of those times where an actor does their job and they get lost in it, and we don't really see them as actors. We see them as we see these characters being portrayed on screen. So everyone does a fantastic job. I don't really have any bad things about the acting. Cinematography, or like, I guess like only bad thing is like I wanted more of Zimbardo. That's more of the directing. So there's that. Cinematography, I thought this was a really well shot movie. The thing with the experiment, though, Adrian Brody one, it was too Hollywoodized. It seemed like it was just too staged with like it looked like a set, and I didn't feel the emotional weight to it. And I think that's what this one brings to it from the directing and the acting standpoint. I felt that emotional depth. I felt the bone crushing, mentally crushing, whatever crushing you want to have on your body of this movie, like type of feeling where like these kids were just like wet rags at the end of this experiment. They were just abused to no end, and then when the experiment was over, it was like it was nothing, and it's crazy. So that's why I like this one more than the experiment back in 2010. But back to cinematography. Sorry, tangent. Cinematography actually had this really cool, rich, golden look that looked like it was a 1970s movie, because this experiment is based off of something in the 70s, so it makes total sense. I felt like I was watching the actual footage. That's how cool the shots were, and how constructed they were, and how lit they were. I felt like I was watching the actual experiment. So huge props to the cinematographer for that. As far as the editing goes, like I said, this movie is 2 hours, and I can see some people getting really just bored and just thinking it's slow and repetitive. I understand that, but I really love like this type of study, and like it's a character study. That's what it is. You want to watch this movie to see what happens and why did this go wrong back in the day? Because this experiment only lasted 6 days. It was supposed to last 2 weeks in real life, and they cut it short because, I mean, you can probably tell which way this movie's going to go. It's like it just gets super out of hand. So I really wanted to, like I said, as far as the pacing goes, I really liked it. For me personally, I know for some people it might seem a little slow and repetitive, so I will give you that warning. And as far as me wanting more, if they would have tacked on another 10, 15 minutes, I would probably even be better with the pace. Because like I said, it has fascinating stuff at the very, very end, and I wanted to see more of that, and I wanted to see more of the creator, and I wanted to see more of that dynamic, maybe more at the creator in the front end of the movie, then the experiment, and then the aftermath of the experiment a little bit more. So that would have probably been a better movie. But, I'm not a filmmaker. I graduated and got my bachelor's in filmmaking, but obviously I'm reviewing movies, so obviously that didn't work out because I suck at it. So overall, it's a really intense experience. It's really suspenseful. The acting is fantastic. The direction is out of this world, and it really just brings you into this just crazy and effed up experiment, and I just wanted to see more. That's how much I liked it. I do like it better than the experiment. Besides my few problems with it, it's still a really good watch. I would highly recommend this to you guys. And I want to check out Das Experiment from Germany. I will check it out at some point. So my letter I will give this review, or this movie, is a B. I think that's a good, solid rating for this movie. So a B for the Stanford Prison Experiment. So have you seen the Stanford Prison Experiment, or have you even heard of it? Comment that place below my face and let me know. And no one watched live because I don't have any friends or any people that do watch my videos. So I will see you guys next time for whatever I review next. I'm Chase Lee. Have a good day, a good night, whenever you're listening to this. I'll see you guys later. Let me play the outro music for you guys. And by the way, if you want to follow me, all that stuff, link in the description is below. The intro and the outro music, band name, Fervent Roze, link in the description below as well. Have a good day. Let's play it.
Important security